Greetings from the iconic Angel's Landing in the majestic Zion National Park, Utah. I'm Andrei Duta, and it's an honor to spend the next few minutes together in this inspiring place as we continue to examine the topic of negotiation. In a recent lecture, we looked at the root of the word negotiation, placed the term in its historical context, and examined briefly the evolution of the concept throughout time. Today's lecture introduces the 5 conflict management styles or modes from the Thomas-Kilmann Conflict Mode Instrument, TKI. Before we unpack the 5 modes or styles, allow me to make a few general remarks. Negotiation can be viewed as the process of conflict management or conflict resolution. We all engage in conflict management. It's an interpersonal reality. Personal relationships, family, commerce, trade, diplomacy, education, etc. All aspects of our lives are fraught with conflict. And that is a good thing. When managed well, conflict is an opportunity for growth individually and relationally. Conflict can be an engine for growth and the motivation for or an opportunity for change. I will say it again. Conflict, when stewarded wisely, is good. Very good. And because conflict is ubiquitous in relationships and organizations, and because negotiation is a form of conflict management, I suggest that all of us are negotiators. As such, we should hone our skills and improve our communication to effect positive and wholesome outcomes in our personal relationships and professional dealings. We all have proclivities, natural inclinations, or prefer styles that we may more easily default to when negotiating or managing conflict. Being aware of these various styles is beneficial. We become aware of our own and the other party's weaknesses and strengths. This level of awareness is not an invitation to shrewd manipulation, but rather insight and knowledge for how to effect a winning and honest outcome for all parties in a spirit of integrity. The various conflict management styles or modes can become bona fide strategies for engaging in effective negotiation. So, what are these 5 conflict management styles? In 1974, Kenneth W. Thomas and Ralph H. Kilman introduced a measuring instrument to examine how people interact with each other in conflict. The Thomas-Kilmann Conflict Mode Instrument, TKI for short, assesses individuals' behaviors in conflict situation. A conflict situation is a situation when 2 or more interrelated parties wrestle or deal with incompatible goals, interests, positions, mental maps, perspectives, opinions, or visions. The 2 dimensions the instrument measures are 1, assertiveness on the y-axis, which looks at the concerns of an individual for his or her own goals and interests, or to personalize, this is my degree of focus on my own goals and interests at the other party's expense, and cooperativeness on the x-axis, which looks at the concerns of an individual for the other party's goals and interests. Or to personalize, this is the degree that measures my focus on the other party's goals and interests at my expense. As such, negotiation can be viewed as the dance between 2 dialectical points: concern for self or assertiveness versus concern for other or cooperativeness. Assertiveness can be low, unassertive, or high, assertive. Cooperativeness can be low, uncooperative, or high, cooperative. We'll use an orange as a visual aid to better illustrate the 5 styles. First, competing is high assertiveness or assertive and low cooperative or uncooperative. An individual pursues his or her own concerns and goals at the other party's expense. I win, you lose. My orange, all of it for me and none of it for you. 2. Accommodating is low assertiveness or unassertive and high cooperativeness or cooperative. An individual neglects his or her own concerns to satisfy the concerns of the other party. Self-sacrificial mode. You win, I lose. Your orange, all of it, all for you and none of it for me. 3. Avoiding is low assertiveness or unassertive and low cooperativeness or uncooperative. An individual does not pursue his or her own concerns and nor the other parties. The conflict is not addressed. Avoiding can present itself as diplomatically sidestepping an issue, postponing an issue, or withdrawing from the situation altogether. We ignore or avoid the orange and the other party. We neither win nor lose. 4. compromising. It's 50-50 on assertiveness and cooperativeness. We both win and lose. We both win some and lose some. The goal is to find some expedient solution which is mutually acceptable to both parties. It is a hybrid of competing and accommodating. Examples include splitting the differences, exchanging concessions, and seeking the middle ground. We split the orange in two. You have half and I keep the other half. Finally, the fifth style, and my favorite if I may add, is collaborating, which is high assertiveness or assertive and high cooperativeness or cooperative. This is the opposite of the avoiding style. In this mode, both parties fully engage all their faculties, leverage creative thought and fuel imagination to create a win-win situation, to enlarge the pie, so to speak, to birth new options and introduce new opportunities. It is the most time-consuming, but potentially the most rewarding of all 5 modes. It is highly dialogic and communicative. Asking questions and listening attentively are crucial. Assuming a humble stance, being curious, and exploring surface positions and subterranean interests of self and the other party are crucial. Using the orange as an example, by engaging meaningful discursive interactions, we may discover that one party wants the peel to flavor a cake while the other party wants to eat the actual fruit. As such, through patient and creative communication, we're able to enlarge the pie, discover both parties' interests, and satisfy their concerns. Well, that's it for now. Thank you for your time. I trust you enjoyed this presentation on negotiation, viewed as the process of conflict resolution and the introduction of the Thomas-Kilmann instrument with its 5 conflict management dimensions, styles or modes, which, when well understood, can be leveraged strategically and to effect better and more positive outcomes. Next time, we'll look at the effectiveness of the Thomas-Kilmann's 5 conflict management modes, and we'll answer a simple question: which of the 5 styles is the most effective? We will continue soon. Until then, goodbye from the picturesque Zion Canyon. Blessings and all the best. Thank you. This has probably been the most beautiful and awesome and breathtaking trek and hike I've ever done. Definitely worth the time and the effort. Not for the faint of heart. Angel's Landing, Zion Canyon, Zion National Park. I recommend it. Thank you. God bless.